There is an incredible, remarkable power inside every word. Because the words can shape the way that we see ourselves, we see the world around us, or even the future we believe that is possible. Marshall Rosenberg put it in this way. He says, words, they can be windows, but they also can be walls. Words changed the course of history. A slogan justified war. A sentence united people, inspired people, and the same sentence could also divide a generation. History reminds us that language doesn't simply explain the reality, it shapes the reality. But perhaps the most important words are those that we whisper to ourselves constantly. Just imagine when we start the course of healing ourselves, our inner child. We always start with words. I was told I'm stupid. I was told I never be successful. I was always compared to others. I was told I can't do it. Years may pass, but those words, those sentences remain inside us. And as much as we repeat them, they become quietly our own voice. One sentence can become beginning of a completely new story. Words are not just sounds, they become stories, and the stories become the lens through which we can see the world and interpret the world. Michelangelo was asked how you created those beautiful sculptures. His answer became one of the most beautiful metaphors ever spoken. He says, I saw the angel inside the stone. I carved until I set him free. This idea is timeless. He first changed the way that he saw the stone. And then, and only then, he started to carve it. Perhaps our future works exactly the same way. Before we change our life, we first change the story that we believe is hidden inside us. Albert Bandura, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, introduced the concept of self-efficacy. Self-efficacy doesn't mean self-esteem or pretending that everything is good. It is a belief that if I didn't do it today, I'm learning. Or if I didn't do it yet. That belief changes completely your behavior. People with a higher self-efficacy most likely stay with a difficult task for longer time. They don't believe that they can do. They quickly recover from every setback. Not because they are special, not because they are more talented, but because they interpret failure in a completely different way. Failure is no longer proof that you can't do it. Failure is a way of learning and improving. The language doesn't simply communicate our thoughts, it shapes them. The words that we repeatedly tell ourselves create a kind of mental frame. And once that mental frame is activated, the brain then starts to see the reality through that frame. Imagine I have an idea and I keep telling myself this idea is not original. Lots of people, they did it better than me and I can't compete with them. I'm too late. I can't be successful. My mind naturally began to search for every evidence to confirm that sentence, that frame. The opposite side is also possible, not because positive thinking can change the reality, but because different words can produce different behavior, and different behavior can produce different outcome. As Bandura said, instead of I can learn, we can say I couldn't learn it yet. I can't be successful. Become I didn't succeed yet. Those sentences keep brain looking for different possibilities. instead of conclusion. Now, think about, have you ever had a project, a business to start, a book to write, I don't know, improving your health, something that you were, at the beginning you were so excited about, you were thinking that I can completely change your future, but something that never happened. If you look closely, perhaps it wasn't only circumstances that stopped you. Perhaps there was another conversation that quietly taking place inside you. Those words like, I can't, I probably will not be successful. They don't stop you physically, but they create that frame. And that frame reduce the number of times that you try. I know it very well because that was my frame. That was my problem for a long time. I had ideas, I was excited. I always was telling myself, start it. If it doesn't work, just let it go, because you don't have time, because you're not patient to do it. But then I discovered there was another quietly word that was running in the background. That sentence that I created for myself for a long time. I, after all, will never be successful. When that sentence become narrator, every obstacle feels like a proof. And eventually, we stop carrying the marble long before the sculpture has had the possibility to emerge. So perhaps the most important conversation we have is not with our friends, it's not with our family, it's not with our partner, are those conversations that quietly is running inside us. Because every sentence becomes an instruction. Every instruction becomes a habit, and every habit quietly becomes our future. Perhaps our future can be completely changed with one small sentence, one small word that we replace in that inner conversation that we have. As Bandura says, instead of I can't, you can use I can't yet. Your inner dialogue, writing your tomorrow long before that tomorrow arrives. So perhaps today we cannot change entire our life, but one simple thing that we can do is to listen to our inner voice. Listen to the words that you use when something doesn't go as you plan. Write it down. Listen to the voice that appears when you do one mistake. Write it down. Listen to the story that you tell yourself whenever something difficult appears. Write it down. Every quiet conversation is writing our tomorrow. And perhaps we can't change all those conversations overnight. But every single sentence, every small changes become a meaningful change that can change that frame from which we see the world and can inspire us for our future. So thank you for being with me in these few minutes. And if this conversation about psychology, nutrition, and inhabitable life resonate with you, I would love to see you next week. And until then, take care of yourself and listen to your inner voice. See you next time.